wasn't announced that Caitlin Clark wouldn't play until right before. This is a preseason game where Clark is not available, and yet you probably...
It was basically Sophie Cunningham's answer. I'll take 21 points away from you. After the Mystics rookie Kiki Iran committed a clear foul that could have hurt the Fever's new player.
This proves there is an agenda against the Indiana Fever. There is an attack agenda.
Showed toughness, unity, and the willingness to stand up for each other in a preseason game that was anything but friendly. Even though Caitlin Clark was out with a nagging left leg injury, the Fever proved they're no longer a team to be pushed around. It was the start of a new era for the Indiana Fever, one where players like Cunningham, Hull, and Bonner showed they won't back down from anyone. We'll talk about everything that happened in this film, Sophia and the Fever's angry response, as well as how the Washington Mystics responded after the game after being bullied. Let's go. If you agree with Indiana, leave a message below.
This is the first time we're witnessing this. They're attacking Sophie Cunningham just like they did Caitlin last year. There is an agenda against this basketball team, and I'm calling it out right now. The league better step in immediately. They better step in immediately. We better not be dealing with what we dealt with last year with Caitlin.
Team sits out while the Indiana Fever play. They had to play their first warm-up game without Caitlin Clark against the Washington Mystics. Nobody had been there before. Clark had not played in a game in 5 years, including her time at Iowa and her first season in the WNBA. Coach Stephanie White made the tough decision to sit Clark out because she had what Clark herself called a little tightness in her left leg. We need to think long-term, White said, explaining that she wanted to protect her star player by giving the Fever 4 more games than last year. It was a smart move for the future, but it made them very exposed at the time.
I mean, look, the biggest thing is we got to think long-term. Like, we got to make sure that we're not putting Caitlin at risk for injury. We're not putting our team in a position, where we're thinking short-term and not long-term. It's a long season, 4 more games than last season. So we want to make sure that we're extra cautious and put her health and wellness first and foremost. And honestly, it's been one day at a time. You know, how she's reacted to treatment, how she's reacted to workouts. So positive progress is being made, but we can't be short-sighted.
First quarter, getting outscored 24-13. They quickly fell behind as the Mystics took full control. Layups missed. No offensive flow. The Fever seemed to have lost its way. Fans had to wonder if the game was already over before it even started because the gap grew to 15 points.
This team came out very slow, very lethargic, very stuck in the mud, very dragging ass, didn't have energy to them, didn't have flow to them.
Mystics saw that the other team was weak. They came out strong from the start. Their rough play early on set the mood, spreading the Fever and forcing someone to step up when Clark wasn't there. They thought they smelled blood in the water. And for a while, it looked like they would easily beat a Fever squad without Clark.
Stephanie White seemed frustrated. We were down 15. Stephanie White called the timeout, and she must have stuck her foot up her team's ass and said, you see this arena? You see all these fans that came to watch you guys? 12,461 people. They didn't come to watch you guys bullshit. They didn't come to watch you guys drag ass. Let's play some defense and let's get it together offensively.
When Lexi Hall came off the bench with energy and hustle, things started to turn around. She grabbed 4 steals to stop Washington scoring and scored 13. Important points to keep Indiana in the game. Kelsey Mitchell praised Hull for getting things done and giving the team a spark when they needed it most.
Lexi Hull looked the most confident I've ever seen Lexi Hull look. Lexi Hull looked the most confident I have ever seen Lexi Hull look, putting the ball on the ground, taking it to the rack, shooting threes, middies, turnaround fades. Whether they went in or not, we can get into that another day once the season starts. But the fact that she's confident enough in her game to where she's at least willing to try to do something to make the offense happen, to create points, to create confusion among the defense.
In a double-digit hole, the Fever did something amazing. Being strong, the fact that their superstar wasn't an excuse. It was a task. Some players started to get into the groove. The defense got stronger, and all of a sudden, that huge lead didn't look so impossible to overcome.
Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull, these 2 players. Sophie Cunningham gave us 21, Lexi Hull gave us 13. The Blonde Bombers is what they're calling them. We were down 15 in the first half. Why were we down 15? We cut it to within 3 at halftime.
Without Clark. It wasn't because one player tried to replace her 20-plus points per game. It was because unexpected stars stepped up, played with heart, and refused to back down from Washington's physical challenge. What the Mystics didn't know was that their physical approach would soon fail in a big way as the Fever started to find its groove in the second quarter. In a moment, everything changed. With 5 minutes left in the first half, Mystics rookie Kiki Iran hits Sophie Cunningham with what can only be called a body slam. This made a huge difference in the game.
And I know it wasn't announced that Caitlin Clark wouldn't play until right before, but this is a preseason game where Clark is not available, and yet you
All play. It looked like something from a wrestling match. Cunningham, who joined Indiana in a trade with 4 other teams this offseason, had been slowly getting into a rhythm, which was helping to cut Washington's lead. She was moving without the ball, which made space for the Mystics' defense and caused problems. Then there was the fight that made everything different.
probably have 10,000 people here and a real home court advantage.
That's Sophie Cunningham. There you go. I mean, she's right there saying, don't you do that. She's telling the rookie right now.
And threw her hard to the floor as they both tried to get a rebound. People in the crowd gasped. People on both teams stopped moving for a split second. Then Cunningham jumped to her feet and slammed into Erie, often right away.
And that's Kiki Arafin, and I got to tell you, here we go with the smiling like you've done. I don't get it. This is the worst part of the WNBA. It is.
Cunningham yelled her words so loudly that they could be heard on the radio. Officials quickly stepped in, but the damage had already been done. They looked at the play again and gave Erie often a clear 1 foul. Given how dangerous the play looked, the call seemed pretty light.
I mean, yikes. Kiki, the new Kennedy. A lot of people not happy. Demon Sophie, yeah, she showed up. Look at this. They're celebrating that. Okay. I mean, it's crazy. Here we go again. Here we go again. She's yelling while Kiki's laughing in her face. Never seen a rook have a vet so rattled.
Though, later in the game, Brittany Sykes gave Cunningham another needless shove that sent her to the ground again. It wasn't sneaky, it wasn't basketball, it was just plain bullying. It's becoming clear that Washington players are picking on Cunningham.
This was another one right here. This was Brittany Sykes, and DeWanna Bonner got involved in this one. She did. Little standing on business.
This is not the same Indiana team that lost last year. Dana Bonner, another veteran member of this group, stepped in right away to talk to Sykes, showing that the team is becoming more protective of each other. It was easy to understand if you mess with one Fever player, you mess with them all. The most interesting thing was how these events changed the whole game. The Mystics thought they were being tough and scaring their opponent, but all they did was wake up Cunningham's sleeping giant and bring the whole Fever team together. The officials looked at both events, decided on penalties, and then the game continued. There was a big difference on the court, though. The mood had changed. The Fever players weren't giving up. They were pumped up. Coach White later said that Cunningham was like a dog. Basketball slang for a player who always fights and has a lot of heart.
Oh my God, Sophie's a dog. She just is, she's a competitor. She's versatile, so she allows us to do different things. Like, she plays with such a toughness. You know, she's huge, and she's going to be for us all season long. But what she brings from an energy standpoint, she raises the level of play of everybody around her as soon as she steps foot on the floor. Hell, even on the sideline. I mean, her communication, everything. You know, she's definitely an X factor.
Were the Mystics angry that they were losing the lead? Was Washington trying to scare off the Fever's new member? Whatever his plan was, it failed miserably. Instead of breaking Cunningham's spirit, they made her more aggressive. Instead of scaring the Fever, they brought them together. Instead of earning a win, they set the stage for one of the most satisfying comeback wins you can think of. The Mystics were mean to Sophie Cunningham, and they were about to feel very bad about it. What do you do when your opponent tries to physically hurt you? It was easy for Sophie Cunningham to answer. Take away 21 points to help your team win. That's exactly what she did after those violent fights with the Mystics.
Lexi Holt gets a nice steal here, runs down the court, finds Sophie Cunningham, who pumps up.
Drawn on the drive. High arcing pass. It was too high. Hull pulls down the rebound. Here's Cunningham again. Cunningham, coast to coast.
What a first half for Sophie Cunningham.
And this is as we've clawed back after being down 15.
Body slammed Cunningham. Her behavior changed in a clear way. The anger in her eyes turned into laser-like focus. You could tell by the way she moved. She was more determined and pushy. No longer was she just playing basketball. She was making a point. Cunningham began to strike from all sides. Jumpers from mid-range make runs to the basket and three-pointers. Her attacking tools were all out in the open. They kept trying to body her, bump her, and throw her off her game. Each time they played, though, Cunningham seemed to get stronger and more driven. She was very good, making 6 of 1 shots from the field, which is almost 55%. She did even better at the free throw line, making 7 of 8 shots, which is an amazing 87. It wasn't just a lot of points, it was calculated high percentage basketball at the most important times.
Sophie Cunningham, 12 points, 3 rebounds, 1 steal in 11 minutes off the bench in the first half. Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull played a majority of this game for the Indiana Fever. And they played together a majority of the time they were in this game. Sophie Cunningham showed exactly why we brought her in here. We won that trade hands down. Hands down, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We won the Sophie Cunningham trade.
Score points. She smashed the boards for 8 rebounds, fought for loose balls, and played with the kind of energy that gets the whole team excited. This is why, after the game, Coach White called her a dog. The best praise a basketball player can get for always fighting.
Austin looking backdoor and got it to Cunningham.
You guys know what else we're seeing in all these videos? Movement. AB. Up there comes Kelsey around the top. There goes Lexi Hull, back door. Sophie Cunningham, back door. Lexi Hull goes back out to the corner. God forbid, folks, we are seeing things that we haven't seen at all last season.
The Fever's comeback got serious speed in the fourth quarter. The lead from the Mystic disappeared. The 15-point lead that was there before was gone for good. As overtime began, the stage was set for Cunningham's last act of payback. During the extra time, Cunningham took full charge. Important free throws and clutch buckets when it counted most, she came through. The members of the Mystics who had tried to scare her earlier could only watch as she did her thing.
Made me feel good. I saw ball movement on offense. Made me feel good. I saw no volleyball passes on. Made me feel good. I saw fight from everybody that was on the court at once. There was no 4 versus 5 when it came to fight, heart on the. We weren't lacking that today. We weren't lacking heart at all. And in case people thought this team might be lacking some heart, you got one thing coming to you. You think you're going to be pushing around Sophie Cunningham like that? Don't worry. Sophie, I got this.
As soon as she gets on the court, or even just on the sidelines, she makes everyone else play better. Everything she says is clear. She's definitely an X factor. The irony was just right. The guy Washington was going after ended up being the main reason they lost. The attempts to scare people completely failed. Instead of locking up Cunningham, they let her go. How did Sophie Cunningham react to being body slammed by Kiki Iran? She wrecked the Mystics with 21 points, 8 rebounds, and a game-winning jump shot in OT. It was very clear what the meaning was. You can pick on Sophie Cunningham, but you'll feel bad when she marks you down on the scoreboard.
We have people that aren't going to put up with the nonsense this year. You want to try the Fever? Go ahead and try us. Go ahead and try. 1 through 5. Somebody's going to step up and get in your face. Someone's going to step up and say, you need to relax. Whether it's DeWanna Bonner here or Sophie Cunningham on the bottom of your screen. You mess with this team, we have some people that are going to stand up for themselves and stand up for others.
Gainbridge Fieldhouse, something much bigger than a preseason win had just taken place. We saw the birth of a totally different Indiana Fever team. Teams were able to push this team around last season. They would get rough, and the Fever would often back down. No longer.
Well, first and foremost, they play so hard. They play with multiple levels of effort. They're both just tough as nails. They have length. They use their length really well, their activity level on the defensive end and offensively. I mean, they're like mirror images of one another. I mean, the way that they can cut, the way that they can spread the floor, and what they bring on the defensive end of the floor.
After the game, the players for the Washington Mystics, who slammed and swished each other all night, refused to shake hands. On their way to the changing room, they looked back because they had just seen a team they thought they could bully use their own strategies against them. Over 12,000 fans filled the building, making it feel very exciting. The crowd went crazy every time the defense stopped a shot or the basket was made, but it really got loud when Fever players stood up for each other after those cheap shots. Sophie Cunningham saw that they were calling the fans the sixth man and saying that their energy was what made the comeback possible.
You want to make sure that your home court is special to you as a team, but you want to make it hard as heck for other people to come in here to Gamebridge, and they don't want to play here, right? And I think with that, as an energy player, you got to get your fans involved. That's our sixth man right there.
Lexi Hall grabbed 4 steals by diving for loose balls and blocking passers. Her defensive ferocity went well with Cunningham's attacking explosion. Mitchell and Boston both Hall and Cunningham, all of them showed how the new personality was being formed right in front of our eyes. The new veterans have totally changed the team's DNA. Cunningham and Dana Bonner don't just score points and grab rebounds. They also bring a toughness to the team that is rubbing off on everyone else. Notice how quickly Bonner stepped in after Ian body slammed Cunningham. Last year, that didn't happen.
We put Sophie in position where she was running the point guard, right? We put Lexi in position at the end of the game where she was running the point guard. And so I'm thankful to have players like that who are comfortable being uncomfortable and doing what's necessary for our team to find success. I mean, that's part of, one of our core values is be selfless, and sometimes that means playing out of position. And I thought they both did a great job of that, but really like their energy and competitive spirit.
Basics that led to this win. It's crazy that the Fever made 27 out of 28 free throws, 4% of the time. Sometimes those last few points are all that separate a close game from a win. The defenders also did a great job. I like that we got about 94 feet. I thought our defense really held. White said, gave us a chance to get back in the game, giving us a chance to finish the game.
I liked our aggressiveness. I liked the fact that we picked up, pretty much 94 feet, that they didn't get anything easy. I mean, it's not often that you come out with a win in games where you shoot 30% from the floor. And I felt like our defense really held, gave us an opportunity to get back in the game, gave us an opportunity to finish the game.
This was a sentence. The Indiana Fever aren't the same team that opponents threw around last year. They're stronger and more resilient, and when things get tough, they stick together. The Mystics tried to scare the Fever with physical force, but it didn't work at all. Instead of breaking their spirit, it brought them together. Instead of taking control, they woke up a sleeping giant. That's why they couldn't stand in the handshake line for Fever. They had just seen the beginning of a team that won't be bullied anymore. A group that used their own physical moves against them.
This isn't the soft Fever team that you can push around last year. That's, let's just push them around and bully them because nobody on that team has any to step up to us. Don't worry, we took the offseason seriously.
Indiana was becoming something truly special. The Fever aren't just Caitlin Clark's team anymore. They're a tough group with a heart beating for them. Watch out when Clark comes back to join Warriors like Cunningham, Hull, and Bonner. The 2025 Fever might become the team that no one wants to play. Their defense scores points, and now they have attitude. There is no better way to explain what this game is about. You should not try to pick on the Indiana Fever. They're sticking up for each other, they're not going to give up, and they're only just beginning. If you agree with Indiana, say something spicy Sophie down below, turn on all alerts, and like the page to make sure you never miss anything. Tap the movie to watch it, and we'll see you next time.